Domino Thinking presents Natural Born Speakers with your host, Allison Donaghy. If you were born to talk and want to know how to build your career around it, then Natural Born Speakers is the show for you. Now grab your seat because this is the place to be. Now here is your host, Allison.
Hi, and thanks for joining us on this fabulous Thursday. I sure hope it's as beautiful where you are as it is where I am. We're on the west coast of Canada on Vancouver Island, and the sun is shining. Finally, our rainy season is behind us. It only took like 12 months, I think. And the sun is out, and it's hot, and it's shiny. But the brightest part of my day today is that I get to spend the next hour with Christy Primer. Christy and I met online a while back, talked on the phone, totally hit it off, and I was like, you have to be a guest on my show. She is an amazing powerhouse of a woman. She is an author, a speaker, a coach. What this woman does is there is just no stopping her. So I would really like you to welcome Christy Primer with me. Hi, Christy.
Hi, Allison. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. This is like the highlight of my week.
Let's rock it.
Yes. Yeah, let's. So, because you're such a powerhouse in your industry and you're speaking all of the time and you're doing all this great stuff with coaching, how did you, what were you doing before? How did you get from, diapers to this?
Well, I'm still evolving, but great question. I, for almost 2 decades, have worked in social services field. So helping people, with their mental health issues, reclaim their lives, blah, 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 all this stuff. Take me back to 5 years ago. I walked into work. I was working for a government agency. I got fired. Best thing that could ever happen to me.
I've heard that from people.
Yeah, co-authored a bestseller about that experience and started my own company, PRIMETIME. And so what I did was I used my ability to connect with people to inform them that I was ready, willing, and able to do speaking, to do counseling, and later incorporated online coaching. So really what brought me to where I am today is a lot of self-confidence, determination, and the ability to build genuine relationships with people. Right.
And that totally makes a difference. And you are so good at that. It's, I know when people that I've introduced you to, and we all just say the same thing, is that you are just such a delight to spend time with.
Aw, thank you. I just show up as myself and I figure I can't fail, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the beautiful part of that is that not everybody's your people, but you get to find out right away who your people are. And as opposed to when people are faking it, and they're just showing up as who they think other people want them to be, then they never really have a sense of who is with them or who's going to work with them or any of those other things because nobody really knows who they are.
Yeah, and I find in our industry, especially speaking, we've got to be comfortable with ourselves in order to be comfortable in front of an audience, whether it's small, medium size, or huge, right? People can read through your behavior. So yeah, I'm glad we connected,
Oh, me too. I can imagine this is going to go on for quite some time. And because I'm going in September close to you, I'm going to be going to DC and then I'm going to Detroit and you're going to be so close. So we're going to have to make that happen. We can have a quick little visit.
Yeah. And I think for anyone listening, that's the power of connecting. I built my business to 6 figures offline through genuine connections and word of mouth referrals. And when I went online a couple of years ago, I realized it wasn't the amount of followers you had, it was the quality of people that supported you. There's a big difference. A big difference.
Now, do you think that gets lost?
I do. I think it's getting more and more lost.
Mm-hmm. And why? That's a pretty simple concept, right? You build connections with people and you can only work with so many people and still give some level of quality. Even if you're doing evergreen programs or whatever, you still have to tailor them to your audience and know who your audience is. And I think when you get too big, you lose sight of who your audience is. But if it's so simple, then why aren't people doing that?
I think because we can all find ourselves caught up in the shiny object syndrome, the money syndrome. And why I call it a syndrome is because it can pass. And I think when we're serving from our hearts and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, we realize that it's not the quantity of, clients or followers, it's the quality. And, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe almost
Mm-hmm.
thousands now. But when I'm working with clients, I only take on a certain number because I have to be able to show up and deliver at my optimal level every time. I
Right.
can't do that if I'm spread too thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How can you stay on top of what, especially when you're coaching, how do you stay on top of what people are going through if you forget who they are from one person to the next?
Yeah, and I know for myself, because I run a private practice as well, doing mental health counseling, I have designated days. And when I have speaking events, which my calendar is always booked solid, I
Mm-hmm.
take the time to include my self-care, to prepare for my talks. Um, First and foremost, my self-care, but my family. I've got to really make sure my schedule is fitting my needs so I can best serve my clients. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. When we burn out, how can we help people when we're not even functioning well ourselves? We're only going to be showing up half, and then we're only going to be able to give a portion of that half because we're depleted.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I recently just got back from Niagara Falls. I was speaking at an event there and I had a great opportunity to talk with a fellow speaker and she said like, "How do you do it? You're always traveling. I follow your Facebook." And I said to her, I do what I want to do and I've learned to say no a lot more than I say yes.
Mm. And it's good to be in that position. Well, okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. For people starting out, see all these little tidbits that you got going on here. When people are starting out, saying no is like a scary thing because people, they're desperate or they're wanting to get known or they just want to say yes to everything. So there's definitely that camp that says, yes, say yes. But then there's also a lot of wisdom to be saying no so that you don't end up down a path you don't want to be in. Like, how does somebody balance that?
Yeah, and what I always and I talk about this not just with one-to-one clients, but in my online community a lot. And we hear the hype of if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Well, guess what? Sometimes we really need to feed our families.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes we really need to make our bills, payments. So what I always tell people is if it's something that you'll gain experience from and you can actually show up and serve, do
Hmm.
it. If it's
Right.
something that you're A, not interested in, or B, not qualified to do, then don't do it because the money will come, the opportunities will come. And I feel
Hmm.
like when we say yes to everything, that desperation trickles over and we don't deliver at our highest level.
Right. Right. So if you're a speaker and you say, oh, I can talk on anything.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
can you talk well on anything? It
Yeah. And I think,
there's a difference.
yeah. And I think honestly, Allison, one of the things I want to say is when I mean, I make a lot of money to speak, but I still commit to 5 free talks a year.
Mm,
And sometimes because I am involved with so much charity work, I'm a director with a couple different boards. I do free talks. I share my time for free, but I always say nothing is free. I get experience, I get practice, I get to impact lives, which is my ultimate mission.
hmm.
And through those opportunities to show up, there's always different ways to either A, promote your stuff, sell from the stage, or connect with people so they can learn more about what you do, or B, get some testimonials. When you're first starting out as a speaker, the thing you have to remember is that no matter how many other people are talking about similar topics, nobody can deliver it the way you can. And you've got to own that. That's your power, right? You are you,
Hmm.
and nobody can deliver it the way you do.
Right. Yes. And I think when people start getting insecure, they start looking at what other people are doing and go, oh, they're saying it better, they're saying it different, or they have all of this experience or that experience. But I totally agree with what you're saying, and it makes absolute sense. Your interpretation of all of that is going to be uniquely based on your own perspective or circumstance.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And, I think when people are just starting out speaking, they have to remember that the industry is so convoluted with people that think they know best.
Mm-hmm.
And all the speaking coaching that I do when I help women monetize their message and grow their business through speaking skills, whether it's network marketing, a small business, yoga clinic, coaching service, whatever it may be, what I always tell them is I don't believe there's a one size fits all for anything, especially promoting yourself as a speaker.
Mm-hmm. So then how do you set yourself apart from those speakers?
Well, I think the best thing that you could ever possibly do is obviously stay being you, keep your branding very much a personalized thing, and promote yourself, highlight what your skills are, own how great you are. You know, one of the people I've been able to meet is he's done Broadway. He's all over. Ben Vereen. I got a chance to hang out with him when he was in my area for a Broadway show, and I remember asking him, how do you keep going when you feel defeated? And he laughed and he said, you remember how great you are. And I think that's the best thing we can all remember is when we feel like comparing or we feel like maybe we don't have as much experience, we start promoting ourselves with the confidence that we are great and we are able to talk about whatever it may be, the couple topics or whatever it is. But here's the catch. If people, and I've said this to you, Allison, if people don't know you're available to speak, how will they ever book you?
Right. Yeah, it's a trick.
I mean, if people don't
they're just going to come
you're
and knock on your door and they're going to say, oh, hey, does anybody that live here speak? Because I'm kind of looking for some speakers. Yeah. It's like somebody knocking on your door saying, hey, do you want $1 million? I have a lottery ticket sitting around. Like, yeah, it doesn't happen that way. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Can I just add one thing to that, Allison?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So I think the other thing, though, because a lot of clients that hire me and that I work with that are absolutely amazing will tell me, oh, well, I'm not booked with an agent. I don't have a publicist. I don't have PR. I'm not with a speakers association. And what I tell them is awesome. That's terrific because you aren't limited to where you can go and grow. And a lot of people don't tell you they've worked with a publicist or hired someone to get them in the magazines or on shows or in different events. But here's the thing. That's awesome if that's what they want to do. But you've got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere.
Well, and I think that I definitely hear doing this sort of thing, two different camps. One saying you have to get an agent and other people saying that is like so old school, don't do it, just go out on your own. And there's other ways of doing it. And it's really interesting to get those different perspectives about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Like, how do you wade through all of that?
Well, I'm very honest in my statement to say I've gotten to where I am booked full into 2017 without an agent. Now, however, ironically enough, tonight, I just texted a woman who has been recommended to me, first-class service, amazing integrity. And I texted her, and I haven't heard from her, but I said, I'd like to learn more about your services as an agent. I don't know if I need one. I've honestly been blessed with just being myself and building connections and being a great speaker, right? But I think the people in the camps that want you to feel you've got to have an agent are the agents looking to make money. Like, let's be honest here.
Although there's a trickle down on that too, because the people I'm talking to, they're not agents, but someone convinced them along the way that they actually have to have them. And I'm just wondering, in your perspective, do you have the experience of knowing what that shift has come from? Or is there a shift even?
Well, and there may be for some people because we're all different. But here's the thing. People do what they're told, even though they say they're rebels. When it comes to speaking and building yourself as a speaker, I know so many hundreds and hundreds of men and women that are trying to fit the bill. They're trying to do what someone told them. It's not working. Right. So I think there comes a point where you try to self-promote, connect with your own network first, put yourself on social media, see if you pump out some live stream videos, because videos is where it's at. Don't worry about if you have 100 videos of you speaking. I took all of my videos of me speaking off my website and got more gigs. I did. My coach that I had hired was like, don't do that, Christy. You're going to regret it. And I said, you know what? My intuition is telling me to take all these off. And lo and behold, guess what? More and more people said, I just want to talk to you. Hop on the phone. Let's meet for a coffee. Let's see what, I speak on versus what their audience's need is, and building trust. So I think for anyone who's listening that may be on the fence of, do I need an agent or can I just go forward? I say go forward. See how you do it on your own. Connect with people that will support you and promote you. And do as many free talks as you can to build that experience and that resume.
Yeah, I think it's excellent advice. I'm writing a book right now, and the woman who puts on the course, the Author Incubator, she runs the program, and her name's Angela, and she's not high tech at all. Like, our training material is like, seriously, her with her microphone or her at her desk saying, oh, hey, by the way, and there's mistakes and she coughs and it's not perfect, but it's real.
Yes.
And so as I'm going through this process of writing my book with her, which is launching in September, so I'm super excited about it. And we're going to talk about you being an author soon too, or being an author. Soon we're going to talk about you being an author. And that's like gooder English. And
I love it.
Yeah. But it's that same. And I think there's more and more people are wanting to go real. And I notice when I'm looking at things, I like it when people have their hair down and they're saying, hey, this is who I am, as opposed to the people that come all polished and all the video is perfect, because I don't know who they are.
Oh, that's okay. So this is a bit of a sore spot for me, only because I make a practice of not speaking ill about people because it doesn't serve me. It's not great energy.
Right.
But what I will say is I have met some amazing women and men recently, as in the last 3 to 6 months, that have powerful messages. And unfortunately, someone from different collective groups have told them they need this, this, and this in place before they can go on stage. And what that's done is it's fed a self-sabotaging pattern. It's put fear and insecurities into these speakers, and it's not necessary. I think the most important thing, and I believe this wholeheartedly, is if we're going to tell people to show up and go all in and hustle, 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 and all this shit, then who are the coaches or the people to step in and say, oh no, first you have to do it perfect like this? What's perfect?
Perfect means paying them more for longer, right? Because you have to think these people are in business to keep you as a client.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you a little nugget right here for you, for anyone listening. One of the things that I personally do myself, and that I have all of my clients, all of my elite clients do this several times: record your talk and look at it several times. Look at your tone, your body language, see how your facial expression presents. Are you stuttering? What is the area that you are excelling at, and focus on that. People will tell you what you need to improve all day long. Go with what is working and leverage that.
Yeah. And that is so true. Like, there's programs like Toastmasters, and I think it's a brilliant program. I think it's set up very, very well. It's helped a lot of people get very comfortable speaking. There is a certain expectation. Like, whenever I see a speech, I know if they're a Toastmaster, because there are certain things that Toastmasters trains you to do all the same way. And I think, and this is not ill speaking, I think what it does is it takes the individuality out of the speech. And so for people who are expressive, they have to stop being expressive, or it just brings everybody back to that medium performance. And great, because it gets people on stage, and there are some really, really amazing Toastmaster speakers. But nowhere in there is there a lot of promotion about find your juice and make it juicier.
So anyone who knows me or follows my Facebook knows that I'm not a Toastmaster fan, only because of what you just said. I think it serves a purpose to get people confident and comfortable, and gives them experience. But here's the thing. How many people are in those kinds of clubs? And it's not just Toastmaster, it's a variety of the little collective clubs.
Right.
How many of them are promoting fellow members?
As a speaker?
Yeah, like
or in
I
general,
don't
or
see it in my area. I don't know if it's different. I'm in Ontario, Sarnia,
yeah.
Ontario. But here's the thing. I mean, I was public speaking at the age of 6. I was winning
Mhm.
contests 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. I was winning contests.
Mm.
I always wanted to be an author, a best-selling author, and I always wanted to be an international speaker. And lo and behold, without without certain training programs, I'm doing what I've set out to do because I've leveraged my stage persona. I highlight what works for me. I don't spend time focusing on what's not great because I mean, whatever, we all have stuff that's not great. I've
Mhm.
leveraged my skills in a way that people resonate with me. People, event planners, organizers, clients, they're all like, you know what? I really like how you can adapt to any audience. I want you to speak on this. Now, here's the catch though. If there's a topic that I'm A, not interested in speaking on, or B, not qualified, I refer to someone else who's better suited.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what a great way of building a community.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
when you know
Well,
other women or men that can speak, sorry, Allison, if you know other
yeah.
men and women that can speak on a topic far more suited to them than you have
Mhm.
to refer. It's your duty.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps the world going, I think, and it really keeps that collaborative energy, which is
Yeah,
so important in making the world just better. And
exactly.
it does, like when you can. There's I just sent some connections off to a friend of mine, Mark, who I've had on the show as a guest, and I did a documentary with him with Your Ultimate Speech, and he's in marketing and he's a marketing whiz, and I came across some things that were looking for marketing speakers, and I was just like, hey, check this out, you have to apply, and it just makes it all better. And I know I just repeated it, but there's just nothing else. It just makes it better.
It does. And I think in the industry of speakers, if you honestly could total up how many men and women in the world that speak on very similar topics,
Hmm.
you will find that all of them excel in different areas with different audiences. And one of the best things that's happened for any of us is building the relationships to get referrals from people that believe in abundance, that believe
Hmm.
that sharing other people who are amazing speakers and sharing their skills or their contact information will actually enhance their own speaking abilities and connections, opportunities. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. Yeah. And what a great thing for event coordinators as well, when they have speakers that they can go to and say, hey, do you know anybody who talks about this?
Yeah, I get that all the time, Allison.
Hmm. Yeah,
I've
that's cool.
built, I have about 12 event planners all over the US and Canada that trust me and they hire me when I'm the right one. And they
Hmm.
trust me to give them a couple names of different speakers when I'm not the right one. And I think that's where we really have to focus for people starting out. Please don't be intimidated. Don't play tiny because there's people with more experience or are posting all over about their travels or I'm speaking here. Guess what? Hallelujah. That's amazing. But there's room for the newbies. There's room for people that maybe haven't had the confidence to stand up and say, listen, I'm a really great speaker on XYZ. It's
Right.
time to really own what you're great at.
Hmm. And how nice for the people hiring, because then they know exactly, if you can just be that honest, say, this is what I'm really, really good at, then
Yeah.
they know you're going to be really, really good at that.
And that's what they
It's,
want. That's what
yeah,
they,
so
and
much easier to pick somebody.
yeah, and you had said earlier about, if people are just starting out and here's my thing. My very first coach told me that my business model wouldn't work. She told me that I couldn't do my private practice coaching and speaking and writing, which I was like, really? That's what people do all over the world. So I fired her and
Good
I
call.
used my education and my experience. I took some business through university. I mean, I knew how to run a business to a certain degree and ran with it. And what I did was I let people know, like, this is what I'm great at speaking on. If you're looking for this, this, or this, I know people that could speak on that. And it was building the trust. It was building those connections to say, like, I'm not going to say I can do something that I can't do well or that I don't want to do. And I think
Right.
that's really important for anyone who's listening to stop playing tiny, stop comparing themselves. Don't worry about having the fancy website or their video footage all over the speaker reel, the sizzle reel, we call it. Just go out there and put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. Great advice. I think that's really cool. Can we talk about coaches for a minute?
Yeah.
Because you are a coach, and you just mentioned that you had a coach that wasn't really the best experience because they were discouraging you for doing what you felt you should be doing. How do you pick those coaches? Because really, they are a dime a dozen. Let's be serious.
I'm very much a keep it real kind of gal. I've hired and fired 3 coaches.
Right.
I love talking about this because there's amazing people out there that do what they say they're going to do and have the skills, abilities, and credentials to do so. Mm-hmm. So what I think is when people are looking for a coach for them, if the coach or the mentor or whoever they're going to hire isn't willing to hop on a call or isn't willing to share what they really can help them with specifically, that's a red flag. Mm. When we're trusting people and investing money into people, we need to make sure it's the right fit. And sometimes it's trial and error. I've learned a lot of expensive lessons. But for me, the most important thing is not only can your coach deliver, but have they done what you're hiring them to help you do?
Right.
And I mean, for real, anyone can post fancy houses and hotels and all this stuff. Are they really living the life they want to live because of the work they've done that they can help you do? And I say that empathetically because I've been duped, but I've learned from it. And I know anyone who's worked with me has had a very powerful transformational experience to the level of which effort they've put in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, at some point, the coach can only take you to the water. You have to decide to drink it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I tend to attract really amazing, success-driven clients, so it's been a win-win. But when people are looking to hire a coach, I think the most important thing is, have you tapped out all of your own resources? Mm-hmm. I mean, I've worked with coaches throughout, and I will continue to, and that's in addition to all my education, my post-secondary education. Mm-hmm. At every new level, it's like I need someone to just give me that accountability, that oomph, that push. But I do, again, I interview people I'm going to work with. And sometimes people don't want that or aren't receptive to that. And to me, that's a red flag, because if someone's going to invest in me, I'm more than willing to chit chat with them and let them know what my area of expertise, quote unquote, is, or what I can help them with versus what I can't help them with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that if you have enough to offer, you're not going to lose by spending time with somebody.
Right.
Right. And I think there's those coaches who are, they don't have enough experience or something, and then maybe they don't want to have those conversations because they're going to give away all of their coaching secrets in the first 5 minutes.
Here's what I think
that
about
might be
that.
A flag. Oh, tell me.
I think that's a joke. And I posted, so here's one of my, I said this at an event the other night and I got like a standing ovation. So that's funny. There are so many amazing men and women on this planet that have not yet been discovered online. Mm-hmm. Anyone who gets a shout out from someone with 27,000, 10,000, 1 million followers who gets the limelight and maybe isn't necessarily the best at what they do, but gets that spotlight for different reasons. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. But can you do what you're telling me you're going to do, help me do? And have you done it? And not just through Instagram and Facebook posts, but in real life, have you really reached that level? And I think any amazing coach.
But in real life.
Well,
sorry, but in real life.
And I say that because
I'm not real life people.
I've met people offline after following them or working with them, and it's like I have a way nicer house, way more vehicles, way more travel, own more property, and it's like, wow, you really duped me. And that's why I think it comes down to integrity. And I think when we're looking at hiring coaches, we need coaches and we need different coaches for different things. but we have to have that connection. And the coach has to obviously believe in you, your message, your purpose, and be the right fit.
Mm-hmm. But then, okay, so then how does that fit in with, that old saying, those who can do and those who can't teach? Well, there's an awful lot of teachers out there who are doing a damn fine job teaching law without being a lawyer.
True.
Right? So how does that all kind of sit?
Interestingly enough, I just had this conversation with a client today. So I think people can talk a lot of talk.
Mm-hmm.
I think and who are we to judge? I mean, any of us can post whatever we want online. I know for me personally, because I built my business first and foremost offline, the people that follow me on Facebook and on Twitter predominantly are people that know me in real life. Mm-hmm. And ironically tell me that I don't post all of the fancy stuff that I do because, well, who really cares? I think the difference comes into play with I'm going to focus on speakers. Where are you wanting to go, and who is the person that can get you there that's actually got the success? So one of the sore spots for me is I know a couple different speakers coaches that are having these huge events and they're coaching people. They haven't been hired for a paid gig in years.
Mm. And then how much have things changed?
A lot. It's like the car seat. I use the car seat analogy. My son's going to be 16. If I were to have another baby and put it in the car seat I had my son in, it wouldn't go. It'd be illegal.
So are you suggesting that some of these speakers might be illegal in the shit that they're saying?
Well, I think if they're
maybe not saying that, but maybe we are.
Well, maybe I am. And you know what? I think some of the people that are amazing people who had great success aren't doing right now or in the last 3 years what they're teaching people and taking money to teach people to do. And I have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and rightly so, for sure.
Because you can't go ahead.
No, that's okay. Good. Finish your sentence.
I was just going to say, you can't tell people how it was if they're paying you to tell you how it is. Does that make, that's
totally makes sense.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between was and is.
Absolutely.
Really big difference.
Shoulda, coulda,
Very
woulda,
short words.
didn't.
Oh God, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy. But so you do coaching. So I just want to do a shout out here. People can go to your website, primetimecs.com.
Yeah.
And in your website, they can learn what?
They can learn. My homepage talks about what I do, who I work with. Mm-hmm. Women who have guts to go after what they want, and smart men. So here's the thing. They can also learn how I'm working with people, which is actually changing. My web designer is about to change some of the information, but they'll see that I speak often. Mm-hmm. They'll see what I speak on. They'll see what I can help them build a speaking business on or build their business, right? Because of mental wellness and mindset being my main focus. Helping them monetize their message is also in alignment with ditching the self-sabotage that prevents them from putting themselves out there. Mm-hmm. I feel like they'll also read my blog, which I update, sometimes short posts, sometimes long posts, and my success product line. They'll see all that stuff. But sometimes I feel a lot of women will say to me, I don't know where to start. And so I'll have a very candid conversation of, well, where have you started? Well, I haven't. And the first thing, you know this, Allison. The first thing that I'll tell them is tap into your network, let people know that you're available. And even before that, what do you want to speak on? Mm-hmm. What is your message?
Yeah.
But yeah, my website's got lots of goodies.
It is. It's actually a really easy website to maneuver. I quite like your website. It's simple. It's clean. It's well laid out. I don't like going to those websites where I just get confused and then I just, delete.
Click off.
But there are options of how people can work with you.
Yes. And one of the things, when I hired my web designer, I told her, I said, you'll see all the coaches and all the mentors and all these awesome, sassy, frassy people have the same kind of website. No, I want to be different. I want to stand out. Because I am different. I provoke change. And that's what I said to her. I'm like, don't even call me a coach per se. Say I'm a provoker of change. Because whether it's through my one-to-one private practice or my coaching clients or my online community or speaking, I
Mhm.
provoke people to live a life they want. Or if they're business owners, design a business that suits their needs and serve at their optimal level.
Mhm. Yes, that's your alias, right? You're a provoker of thought. I
Yes.
like it. You're badass.
I'm a
Yeah,
badass provoker.
that's right. I like those are the best kind.
That's a whole other show.
Well, we'll have to do that show one day. Mhm. And I just want to mention too that you're coming out to Vancouver in September, and I
Yeah.
have tickets to come and see you speak.
Do you
And
really? You got them?
yes, yes, I'm
Amazing.
super excited about it. Well, actually, I think hang on, they're sitting in my shopping cart.
Amazing.
I was doing it last night and then I got distracted. No, I have to just hit buy. And I was going to talk to you too because there's different types of tickets and all that.
Go
Anyway,
to the
but
cocktail party.
yeah, go to the cocktail. Always the cocktail party. Yes,
So that's
yes.
September 24th, 25th in Metro Vancouver, New
Hmm.
Westminster.
New West, yes. Where the
Yes, I'll
lovely
be at
Gina
Anvil
is.
Center.
At the Amble Center.
Anvil, yeah.
And so tell me, what can you tell me about that event?
So what I can tell you is that there are over a dozen amazing women powerhouse speakers coming together to help create a more magnificent you. It's a women's only conference. I will
Hmm.
be speaking about reclaiming success, which is my most highly sought after keynote. And it's going to be an opportunity for women to empower themselves, empower fellow women, learn practical strategies to be healthier mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, sexually, all these things. And it's going to happen in Metro Vancouver. So, hello, who wouldn't want to be there?
Hmm. Oh, I love Vancouver. Any chance
And
to get off the bus.
Francesca, who's organized it, is
Hmm.
amazing.
You see, that's always nice too, isn't it?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
tend to only do work with amazing women like
Hmm.
yourself, right? So,
Aw, thank you. And I think that's where it gets to that point. Like the people who are not doing what you're doing, they fall off.
yes.
And sometimes that's really sad, and sometimes that's a blessing.
And
And
and I'm a little different. I think because I've been a clinician for a long, long time. You'll see some of these people out there that are swearing at you every day and telling you to suck it up. But here's the thing: as a human to another human, letting go or outgrowing relationships can be difficult.
hmm
It's
it
honoring,
is.
yeah, it's honoring the fact that that relationship may have maybe not ceased, but maybe it's limiting time or it's not serving you, so you have to cut it loose or whatever it may be. But it's honoring what you've learned from that and what that means and moving forward. It doesn't have to be a drastic, I'm bettering myself, I'm amazing, you suck, see ya. Like, no.
Yeah, that's not really a good route.
No, but I see a lot of people that are either swearing in your face every day, telling you to, grow up or suck it up. And it's like, I'm doing work, I'm showing up, and I believe you got to believe in yourself. But sometimes there's relationships that you have to end that aren't easy to end.
Hmm. Well, and there's that humanity part of it too, right?
Yeah.
We,
Yeah.
we get
Thank you.
attached. People get, yeah, little bits of our heart like go with these other people, and it's almost like dealing with a death of sorts. Granted,
Yeah.
the person's not dead, and I don't think you should be treating them like they're dead, but there is that point in time where it just isn't a fit anymore, and counting the blessings, I think, is a very, very important part of that because they were part of your journey
Yeah.
in getting to where you are and who you are. And I think I totally agree with you. That needs to be honored.
Yeah. And I think we can't negate the fact that different relationships happen in our lives for reasons.
Hmm.
And I think when we can be really self aware, that's like totally vital to our success. We can see what our role was in that relationship and whether it stays or goes or if it's minimized or what it is. But
Hmm.
I think as we build our careers as speakers or authors or coaches or counselors, whatever we are, we're in the business of people. So acknowledging that we all feel different things or have to deal with different things at different times in our lives is really important on our path to success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And you just brought up author again. So before we move away from that, I want to talk about you are an author. And yes, tell me about that.
Well, so funny enough, I started writing poetry when I was a little girl. And in elementary level and high school level, I would win writing contests. I have contributed to a couple books. And last September, I co-authored a bestseller, Igniting the Fire Woman. And this September, I will be releasing my very first solo best-selling book, PRIMETIME Success. And I'm very excited about that.
Nice. And that is when? In the spring?
No, September.
Oh, September. Oh, same as me. That's so
same
cool.
as you.
Same as me. Yes. And how will people be able to find that?
Well, right now I've got my Twitter and my Facebook pumping it out, just some information about it. Christy Primer is how people can find me or find information. And it's also on my website under the products. They'll see the other book that I co-authored, a best-selling book, and then they'll see PRIMETIME Success is coming soon.
Okay. Very cool. And your Twitter is Christy_Primer, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
And Twitter is such a funny thing because here's my joke. And I mean no offense to anyone who's listening that's like a diehard tweeter. If I don't follow someone back right away, they unfollow me.
Yes, there seems to be that going on.
I feel like making a video because I'm the queen of telling people that I'm not my followers, and my self-esteem and success is not rooted, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Pinterest, any other place. And yet, before I can even retweet someone or follow someone back, it's like they followed me, then they delete or unfollowed me. I'm like, Twitter, get it together.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I know I didn't post anything in that 30 seconds to offend that person. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I know, because every once in a while I'll see my numbers and they're like, oh, they went down. I guess I didn't friend somebody back.
Yeah.
There's definitely that. Yeah. And there's a whole etiquette around that stuff too, right?
Yeah. And I think here's the thing. Whether you're a speaker, author, coach, amazing woman, amazing man, whatever you are, whoever you are, you're not your followers. I mean, I see people that have like 20,000 followers and get one like on their post.
Right.
And I know we have to build our online presence, and that's awesome and it's important. Yeah. But I want people to follow my page, my Facebook especially, because that's where I'm the most active, who want to be inspired and motivated and have the guts to go after what they want and want to support me, supporting other people and learn from me. And I don't want people that just like it because they feel like they have to. Does that make sense to you?
It totally does. Or for the image part of it or anything like that. Like, follow it because it's real, follow it because it's true and it resonates, because then you'll get more of that from that person. If you just blanket like everything that they do, then you're not even going to get more of the stuff that really works for you.
And I have maybe it's not the best thing to say on your radio show.
Oh, shit. Say whatever you want. It's always the best thing to say on my show.
But here's the thing, and I say this from the stage all the time. The people that might have thousands and thousands of followers or likes or whatever they might have, I'm still making more money and still connecting with way better people offline. And I'm really doing it. So if 100,000 people like my page, that's friggin' awesome. And I love each and every one of them. And thank you for your support. But if you don't like my page and you don't like positivity and you don't want to hear from someone who's got the expertise in the field, who's got the degrees and the experience and all this other stuff, then that's fine. But don't tell me you're better than me because you have 5 likes on your post when you have 100,000 followers. Like, I don't play that game.
No, yeah, and I think there's something definitely insecure about somebody who's going to make that statement anyway. I think it's just a little bit sad.
I've met lots of fellow speakers that have said, "Oh, I have more followers than you." I'm like, "Awesome! I just started getting active right on." Like, I'm meeting people that follow me that are like in person. Are you like, and I think for anyone listening who's starting out, if you have 100 likes or 600 likes or whatever you have, keep promoting yourself because you're awesome, not because of your likes.
Yeah. Well, and I just went to social media camp in Victoria here, and it's one of the biggest ones in Canada, maybe even North America.
I've
I'm not
heard
sure.
of it. Yeah, yeah.
It's an incredible event. Chris does an amazing job, him and his team, of organizing it. And it's over the course of a weekend. But the theme this year was very much about that real connection.
Yes.
Put your phone, like it's great, meet with people on your phone, but then put that phone down and then really spend time with them. And I remember I was debating between listening to one of two speakers, and the one guy that was speaking connected with me, and he said, "Oh, are you going to come and listen to me talk?" And I said, "Oh, I was debating between the two, but because you asked me specifically, of course I'm going to come and listen to you talk."
Yeah.
And it was that the difference between just being there and expecting something and inviting. It was a world of difference. And they talked about it a lot. And the interesting thing is that some of the speakers talked about it, but then weren't actually interested in connecting. So you'd see them and you'd say, "Hey, that was a great speech. And I really liked what you said about," and they go, "Yeah, thanks," and walk away. And you're like, that was a great connection.
I'll wait till we're in private, but I have I have a lot of different experiences. I've taken the stage with celebrities. I've taken the stage with people that think they're celebrities. I've shared the stage with really humble, amazing, success-driven men and women who are here to serve. And at the end of the day, my message is show up, own your talk, rock it off stage or online, because there's telesummits, webinars, podcasts, all these like things like this, an interview. But really stand in your power as a speaker and use your voice to not only impact millions, but to monetize your message.
Right. That makes sense. It's good. You're just so smart, honey.
Well, thank you.
You have the experience, right? It makes a difference.
I do, and I think,
and you're living it.
I am, and I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I've seen a lot of different speakers online, offline, connected with people at events, and that's why I'm running my own event, which we'll talk about later. But they're not really having the success that they promote that they're having, and it's like, why not just say that? Why not say I've hit a speed bump, I've hit a plateau? Because people resonate with vulnerability.
Well, and it's the same with every industry. Like, this is not unique to speakers. Like, I own a house painting company, and I'll go into the paint store, and people will be talking about how busy they are. I'll go back an hour later, and they're still sitting at the coffee machine.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, yeah, you look busy drinking coffee. I guess you didn't clarify that that's what you're busy doing. I thought you meant you were busy working.
I always say busy or productive, right?
Yes, busy work is very different than working.
Yes.
Very, very different. And so anyway, before we run out of time, I really want to talk about your October event.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's still lots to say that we could have been saying, but yeah, I want to hear more about this.
Well, thank you so much, Allison. So Build Your Empire 2016. It is the event of the year, coming to Toronto, October 28th, 29th. I've got Caleb Maddox is the headlining keynote. I've got Matt Maddox, Jen Scalia, and Melissa Monish coming. I will be hosting a networking experience like none other before. Very
cool. So what can you tell us? Like little bits and pieces.
Little bits? So here's a couple of nuggets. You'll be getting, anyone who attends, there's an early bird for the Saturday for the conference only for $4.97 Canadian, and that's until August 20th.
Oh, and $4.97 Canadian, which is like $2 American. So all of you Americans close to the border,
get
you
on
should
it.
seriously be taking advantage of our weak dollar right now and buy 2 tickets just because you should.
Yes. This event I've invested a lot of money into it in my pocket. And my company's hosting it to bring an experience for people to connect with like-minded individuals, people of influence, learn practical keys to success, strategies to grow your empire, build your business on or offline, entrepreneurs, business professionals, realtors, network marketers, what have you. If I can, I'll give the link, the website link.
Of course.
It's www.primetimecs.com/build your empire. And with the speakers that will be present and the VIP event on the 28th, there's going to be photo ops and videos and live streams and book signings and really intimate discussions about the practical steps people need to take to grow their empire. And the Saturday conference will be at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. And it's honestly open to men and women who are success driven and ready to up-level their lives and their businesses.
So cool. I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to get out there.
I'm pumped. I've been planning this for months.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And I've been watching you planning this for months. And you're saying, I know we had a conversation. We were talking on the phone one day and you were like, I'm going to find out about this speaker. And then but you couldn't tell me because it was still all hush hush. And then I was like, and that's like the worst thing you can do to a person and say, guess what? But I can't tell you.
I know. It's like, leave the hook, right?
Yes. And then you said it was Caleb and it's like that. He's amazing.
Caleb Maddox is an upstanding young man. And you know, a lot of times people might think, I haven't encountered this, but might think, wow, he's 14. He's 14 and he's reached more success than a lot of us.
Yeah. Which goes to show that you don't have to know what you're doing. You just have to believe in what you're doing.
That's right. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, maybe not everyone has the father like Matt Maddox. I've connected with Matt. Matt is a genuine, upstanding man. He is awesome. He is knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. He has sales techniques and tactics that will blow people's minds. But Caleb will be the headlining keynote. He is one incredible force to be reckoned with. It's just going to be amazing. It's 5 best-selling authors, including myself, international speakers, and we're there to serve the attendees.
Mm-hmm. And are you finding that that's what people are wanting more of? Is there like a craving for a more participatory event than the traditional speaker up there? We're sitting back here at the end. They get off the stage. We go home.
You know what? That's why I designed this, because I've been to hundreds and hundreds of events and that's what I'm craving. And I figure if I'm craving it, I'm going to create it, because there's got to be people like me that want interaction, that want practical, tangible skills they can implement immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is cool. Yay, I'm excited. And what's the date on that?
October 28th and 29th.
28, 29. And they can find that information on your website, which again, it's
www.primetimecs.com. And this event is / build your empire.
Okay.
And then, of course, on all my social media.
Always. That is great. So you got that book coming up in September.
Yes.
And then you have your event coming up in October.
Yes.
What else do you have going on? Not like that's not enough, but come
on. Between now and December, I have 28 speaking gigs booked.
Wow.
And
is that all over
Atlanta, Toronto? Yeah, I'm Sarnia, Toronto, Atlanta, London, a few in Toronto. Basically, everything that I'm up to is on my social media, and I'm always posting about it and keeping people engaged. But here's the thing, for anyone that's listening, that, you know, natural born speakers, let's be honest, you want to speak, put yourself out there. People are looking for new blood in the industry, and don't ever forget that.
Right. Yeah, because what was and what is.
Yes.
Back to that.
Yeah.
So the speakers coming out are the new is.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think the more we can empower men and women to really own their greatness and to really stand in their own spotlight, the better the world will be. Because let's face it, I mean, I don't want to go to one more conference where someone speaks in a monotone in a suit and just doesn't give me any new knowledge. Mm-hmm. Do you? Is it just me or?
Oh, it pisses me off. Like, seriously, if I take time out to go to an event to see a speaker that I've been told is like amazing and I have to hear them, and I sit in the audience and I just want to stab myself in the eye because it is so brutally bad. Like, there was a woman that came to town here and she had spoken before and everybody said she was really great. The next year she came back and her whole thing was, so I'm just going to wing this. And I think she was trying to see how many times she could swear in a sentence. And like, I have trucker mouth, like I really do. So for me to even notice somebody swearing is shocking. For me to be like, enough is enough, like that's so far, like that's like
Yeah.
every second word, third word, first word, I don't even know. But I just get really super annoyed when the people don't show up and they're not prepared, or they're doing these old, sad, scary PowerPoints that I don't even need them up there. I can just read.
Oh,
And yeah,
God.
I want to see people that are new, people who are exciting, people who are pushing that envelope a little bit.
Well, if that's what you're looking for, that's what's going to be at my event. And I feel like I created this because not only have I spoken over 1,000 times in my own career, I've been to so many conferences, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and I wanted to create a networking, connecting experience like no other. And I wanted to be able to serve not only my elite one-to-one coaching clients, but people all around the world. And it's in Toronto. Toronto is a beautiful city.
I
And
love Toronto.
yeah, like, I mean, who doesn't want to go there, right? So I
Like,
decided,
let's be honest, it's not Vancouver.
well, true enough. But
But at
Caleb
least you can
Maddox,
afford to breathe in
yeah,
Toronto.
exactly. And
Yeah.
Caleb Maddox is going to be bringing the heat. I mean, Matt and Jen and Melissa are going to be also amazing, but Caleb is going to motivate the audience like they don't even understand. So
Yeah, I might have to. Well, maybe I'll get some of my Detroit peeps to come up and we'll all hang out together for it.
I won't say who, but there's a few of them coming.
Oh, yeah? Well,
VIP tickets are limited to 60, and so that's that. But there's great people coming, men and women, business professionals, entrepreneurs. More info will continuously be promoted on my social media, and there's nothing better than like-minded individuals connecting, right, Allison?
oh, for sure. Like, actually, I think you've just convinced me. I think I just need to go online and buy a ticket as soon as we're done here. I will just have to do more shopping on my visa, so then I'm going to get travel points. So
There you
I
go.
win all over the place, right?
And it's Canadian, so why wait?
Yeah, I know. God, and it makes such a difference at this point, right? Because, like, seriously, that's what, like, $350 American,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, before we go, because we're running out of time, I could seriously talk to you all day, and I think we have times, but it hasn't always been easy for you. So listening to you talk, you got your shit going on, and you know who you are, and you know all of that stuff, and you are able to say with great confidence that you are a great speaker. But how do people get there? Because, like, you didn't start there.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm an exception to the rule, but I've always known that I was called to speak. And one of the things that I recommend to anybody listening is to just practice. Stand in front of your mirror, record yourself, practice with friends or partners or children, driving in your car. Get clear on your 3 key points. I always say 3. I mean, if you have 2 or 5, whatever, but no more than 5. Get clear on your points of a message of your talk. Wrap your talk around it. Start practicing and build that confidence. So when you are pitching yourself and promoting yourself, you actually believe that you can deliver what you say you can, because that's what it really boils down to, is your mindset, your mental wellness, and your confidence.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, it's great to let people know that, and that's constant, that reminder. People need to take what you just said, stick it on their fridge, and realize that they have so much to offer, because once we start realizing that, we can just do so many things. I was watching these kids dancing, and they were just little kids, and they honestly thought they were the best dancers alive. And because of that, they were.
I love it.
Yeah, it was a really beautiful thing to watch. It was terrific. And that always, I think about those kinds of experiences and seeing these kids that just blurt out what they want to whoever. I was talking to my assistant today, and she was saying that her kids met a woman who was severely handicapped in a wheelchair. And it was a neighbor of hers that was taking care of this woman. And the little boys went up and they were touching her hand to shake her hand. And all day long, they said she just had the softest hands. They didn't even see the handicap. They were just so thrilled about her softest hands. So even that woman who is in a wheelchair has this impact, and in ways that she had no idea that she could do. So,
and I think we all have to remember that we have that ability within us. It's really just bringing it up and using it, and remembering it's prime time to shine.
That's right. It certainly is. And on that note, I think I have to leave you here. Love you and leave you.
Love you. Love me and leave me, Allison. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I was looking forward to this all week, so I appreciate you taking the time out and sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So until next Thursday, speak up because you have something to say and I want to hear it.
Thanks for hanging out with Natural Born Speakers. But don't stop now. Contact Allison with questions to be a guest or hire her as a speaker. Go to dominothinking.com. See you same place and time next week.